What if I told you the Cleveland Browns just found their franchise quarterback and nobody's talking about it? Yeah, I said it. While the rest of the NFL is sleeping on what's happening in Cleveland, we're watching something special unfold right before our eyes. This isn't hype. This isn't desperation. This is real. And by the end of this video, you're going to see exactly why the future in Cleveland just got a whole lot brighter. So the Browns drop a heartbreaker to Buffalo, 23-20, and if you just looked at the box score, you might have missed the whole story. But if you actually watched the game, if you saw what was happening between the lines, you know exactly what I'm about to say. Shedeur Sanders is different. This kid has something you can't teach, something you can't draft, something that either lives in your chest or it doesn't. And let me tell you, it lives in his. Kevin Stefanski stood in front of the media after that loss and didn't flinch. When they asked him about his young quarterback, he didn't dance around it. He didn't give them coach speak. He looked them dead in the eye and said he's got complete confidence in Sanders, especially when the game is on the line. Now, Stefanski isn't exactly known for throwing around praise like confetti. This is a guy who's been in the trenches, who's seen quarterbacks come and go, who knows the difference between potential and the real deal. So when he says something like that, you better believe it means something. Let's talk about what actually happened in that game, because the stats don't tell you everything. Sanders went 20 for 29, 157 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks. On paper, pretty average. But here's what the stat sheet doesn't show you. This dude had 49 rushing yards and was the leading rusher for the entire Browns offense. Think about that for a second. Your quarterback is out there bailing out your running game. There was one play, one moment that told you everything you need to know about who this kid is. Greg Rousseau, absolute monster of a defensive end, comes screaming off the edge. Most quarterbacks, they're folding. They're taking the sack. They're turtling up. Not Shedeur. He ducks, he spins, he slips through traffic like he's playing backyard football, and he picks up the first down. That's not something you learn in the film room. That's instinct. That's a winner's mentality. And it wasn't just that one play. He ripped off a 14-yard scramble down to the Bills' 15-yard line, and here's the kicker: he slid. He protected himself. He showed football IQ in the moment. Young quarterbacks don't always do that. They want to be the hero. They want to lower the shoulder and fight for an extra yard. But Sanders knew better. He knew his team needed him for 4 quarters, not just one heroic play. That's maturity you can't coach. Now look, it wasn't perfect. 2 of his passes got batted down at the line. One by Joey Bosa that led to a Bills field goal, another that got picked off. Those hurt. Those cost the team. And Stefanski didn't sugarcoat it either. He said they're working on being more precise, that Sanders needs to improve his eye discipline and footwork to avoid those deflections. But here's the thing. Those are fixable problems. You know what you can't fix? A guy who doesn't have the heart. A guy who doesn't have the arm talent. A guy who folds under pressure. Sanders has all the tools. Now it's just about refinement, and that comes with reps, with experience, with time. The offensive line has been a patchwork mess all season. Injuries, shuffling, guys playing out of position. And Sanders is back there making it work. He's extending plays. He's keeping drives alive. He's doing things that give this offense a chance even when the protection breaks down. That's the kind of quarterback you build around. That's the kind of guy who can carry a franchise for the next decade. But here's where it gets real. This week, the Browns are staring down the Pittsburgh Steelers. If you know anything about AFC North football, you know this game is about to be a war. The Steelers have the 4th best pass rush in the league with 43 sacks. Their secondary has 12 interceptions, tied for 10th in the NFL. They're aggressive. They're unpredictable. They disguise coverages. They come after young quarterbacks like sharks smelling blood in the water. This is the kind of game that can either break a rookie or forge him into something special. Now there is one piece of good news. TJ Watt is out with a partially collapsed lung. That's huge. Watt is a game wrecker, the kind of player who can single-handedly destroy a game plan. But even without him, this Steelers defense is no joke. They've got guys who can get after the quarterback, and they've got a secondary that's hungry for turnovers. Sanders didn't play in the first matchup against Pittsburgh earlier this season, so this is all new territory for him. Stefanski is already emphasizing the importance of understanding their coverages, being smart with the ball, and not forcing anything that isn't there. This game is going to tell us a lot. Can Sanders handle the chaos? Can he make the right reads under pressure? Can he avoid the costly mistakes that turn wins into losses? The Browns have been leaning on their defense all year, and the defense has been solid. But at some point, the offense has to step up. At some point, the quarterback has to be the reason you win, not just the reason you stay in it. This is Sanders' chance to prove he's that guy. And here's why I believe he can do it. The kid has been doubted his entire life. He's had to prove himself at every level. And every single time, he's answered. He's got the physical tools, the arm strength, the mobility, the toughness. But more than that, he's got the mental makeup. He doesn't get rattled. He doesn't panic. He trusts his preparation, and he goes out there and competes. That's what separates good quarterbacks from great ones. The Browns have been through decades of quarterback hell. The parade of names that have come through Cleveland and failed is almost comical at this point. But there's something different happening right now. The coaching staff believes in Sanders. The teammates believe in Sanders. And slowly but surely, the fans are starting to believe too. This isn't about one game. This isn't about one season. This is about building something sustainable, something real, something that can compete for championships year after year. Before we go any further, if you're loving this breakdown and you want to stay locked in on everything Cleveland Browns, do me a favor. Smash that like button right now. It helps the algorithm push this content to more Browns fans, and it helps Browns Breakout keep bringing you the best analysis and news. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button. Join the family. Let's build this community together. The next few weeks are absolutely critical for Sanders and for this team. Every game is a test. Every snap is a chance to prove something. And the NFL doesn't care about potential. It cares about production. It cares about wins. Sanders knows that. The coaching staff knows that. And the fans definitely know that. But here's the beautiful part. The pressure doesn't seem to bother him. If anything, he seems to thrive in it. That play against Buffalo where he escaped the sack? That wasn't luck. That was a competitor refusing to go down. That was a leader willing his team forward. Cleveland is building something. The defense is legit. The coaching staff is solid. And now, finally, they might have their quarterback. The pieces are coming together. The vision is becoming reality. And if Sanders continues on this trajectory, if he keeps learning and growing and developing, there's no reason this team can't compete for division titles, playoff spots, and yes, even a Super Bowl. The Steelers game is going to be a statement game one way or another. Either Sanders shows he can hang with the big boys, or he learns some hard lessons. But even if it's the latter, even if there are growing pains, the trajectory is still pointing up. The confidence from the coaching staff is real. The talent is undeniable. And the hunger to prove everyone wrong is palpable. Browns fans have been waiting for this moment for so long. Waiting for a quarterback they can believe in. Waiting for hope that feels real and not just manufacture hype. And right now, in this moment, that hope is alive. Sanders isn't just another name on the list. He's not just another draft pick who couldn't handle the pressure. He's showing signs of being the real deal, and that's something Cleveland hasn't had in a long, long time. So as we look ahead to Pittsburgh, as we watch this season unfold, keep your eyes on number whatever he's wearing because he's writing his story right now. Every game is another chapter. Every throw, every scramble, every decision is building towards something bigger. The Browns are on the rise, and Shedeur Sanders is leading the charge. What do you think? Is Sanders the answer Cleveland has been searching for? Can he lead this team to the promised land? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's get a conversation going. And remember, stay locked in with Browns Breakout for all the latest news, breakdowns, and insider info. This is just the beginning, Browns fans. The journey is going to be wild, but if there's one thing we know how to do in Cleveland, it's believe. Let's ride.